Hello and welcome to another edition of Qsports coming to you on QTV. I am Babukar C. Thank you so very much for joining us. And coming ahead, the 2019 Q City Academy Summer Camp is currently underway in Bijilo. And of course, we'll bring you highlights of the happenings with the 30 kids selected to partake in the 2019 edition. Elsewhere, the darling under-17 Scorpions of the Gambia on Monday suffered a 1-0 defeat against the Juthos of Guinea-Bissau in one of two friendlies played between 5 days. The darling Scorpions won earlier 4-1, but Monday's game saw a reverse fixture where Guinea-Bissau worked on their errors to beat the Gambia by a lone goal. Now it's back again. The Gambia's most followed and most watched summer football activity is back again. And over the weekend, we visited Serekunda East, where they held their Super Cup between Rangers and Milan Ross. More highlights will come, of course, from that Super Cup game. And the Gambia is taking part in the 12th edition of the African Games currently taking place in Morocco. 5 disciplines are representing the Gambia. Of course, we will tell you what you need to know. These and many more coming ahead in the next half an hour. I am Babukar C. Stay with us. Thank you very much for watching. If you're just tuning in, this is Qsports and I am Babukar C. As I said earlier, the 2019 edition of the Q City Academy Summer Camp have kicked off over the weekend at the Q City Complex in Bijilo, where 30 kids are camped and will be drilled over soccer skills and other activities. Well, let's visit the Q City Complex to see what the boys have been doing under the able coaches that are guiding them. The 2019 Q City Academy Summer Camp is gaining momentum at the Q City's complex in Bijilo, where 30 kids are camped and going through soccer drills and other activities. The kids, as part of events marking Day 3, witnessed a test game in which both the under-13 and the under-16 participated in against Raptin Academy. The under-13 side drew 1-1, whilst the under-16 side saw Q City winning 2-1 in a well-contested game. The game of football in modern times has been shown to contribute significantly to a nation's economic growth and well-being, and preparing the minds and physiques of these children to effectively change the narrative of Gambian football can reignite people's diminishing passion, faith and hopes in the future of Gambian football. After watching both games, Usman Sidibe, a parent and a soccer fan, expressed delight and joy after watching both games, confidently saying the future of Gambian football lies within these kids from the academies.
I'm very delighted with the way the boys performed. From the beginning, they were nowhere, couldn't even finish their first touches. But for now, they are perfect. They can control, they can play the ball, they can defend, they can do everything. So we were here since at the beginning. But what I saw today is 100%. They delivered 100%. They could have had more goals, but because of the finishing touches, where you people must work. But for QTV football team, this is perfect. We were here since in the beginning. Others could not even control balls. Others could not even chase or head balls. But for now, what I've seen is amazing. To the higher heights, I know we'll get there. One day we'll get there. Gambia 11 is going to come out from
The head coach of the Raptin Academy, Julius Bass Camara, also spoke to Qsports after presenting his academy for the first time facing Q City Academy.
I was really impressed to see the two teams, the way they played. I was really moved, and I believe Gambia, if they really want to go in the right way for football, they should look at this level we are all trying to develop the youth for Gambian football.
Thank you very much. We've seen some of key players in your under-13, and they are extremely skillful. What is your arrangement with them?
Well, I have contact with all of them to start with first, and they are not just like, I'm sponsoring them in the other way around in their schools. And I do a lot of things for them because I know for them they are key players in my academy. So I don't just leave them like that. I try to put them in order so that I know if I go anywhere, people can see them. That's why I always like to go and play test matches for them to be exposed.
One of the coaches training the kids at the Q City Academy is Alaji Ahmad Cham, who also took time to speak to us. The Q City Soccer Academy is a combination of trainees who are from different family backgrounds from all regions in the country. Apart from the academy, there are 150 children in the Q City's training school. Young talented players are scouted through test matches who are then absorbed into the academy. This year's Soccer Academy camp marks the second time it is rolled out after 26 children benefited from it last year. Interesting down there at the Q City complex. So parents will want to see their children going to the Q City to join the academy. And, well, that is if you want your child to be a future Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, let's shift attention to the Independence Stadium, where on Monday, the Gambia Baby Scorpions under 17, of course, were defeated by a lone goal, 2-0, against Guinea-Bissau in an international friendly played on Monday. The Baby Scorpions last Thursday defeated the same opponents by 4-1. But it's like the Juthos of Bissau worked on their tactics and rectified it on Monday when they narrowly edged over the Scorpions of the Gambia. Well, Malik Jang watched the game for us and he now tells us more.
Guinea-Bissau and Gambia under 17 went head-to-head for the second time in less than a week in a friendly, with Gambia having triumphed 4-1 in the first match. The second, keenly contested match, was a much tighter affair than the first. Gambian fans had turned up hoping to see a repeat of the 4-1 drubbing handed to the visitors in the previous match. It was an action-packed game, with the hosts putting their opponent Guinea-Bissau under intense pressure. However, despite having the Lions' share of the ball and many chances to score, this time Gambia lost the game, just as the match seemed to be heading for a 0-0 draw. The Independence Stadium was stunned when Guinea's Marciano Chame scored this header in the last minute of the extra time of the match. After Buche Kande's free kick, putting Guinea-Bissau in the lead, they would hang on to. Guinea's head coach, Alpha Omaru Balde, said the people of Guinea love football and it is the secret that pushes them ahead.
I will tell you that in Guinea-Bissau, the population loves football. That is our secret, and if you love something and work towards it, you will achieve it.
After the game, Gambia's head coach, Abdoulaye Bojang, reflected on the loss and said the goal came at a very bad time, but he realized where the error was made. Having lost the first game 4-1, Guinea-Bissau wanted and got revenge for the loss. Although theirs was narrower victory margin, they would have been pleased to have gained revenge for that loss and to emerge with honors shared over the two-game series. Malik Nyang for Qsports.
Thank you very much, Malik, for that brilliant report there, and hard luck to the Baby Scorpions. Well, they have from now to 2020 before the qualifier proper for the under-17 starts. So there's still room for improvement. But that was a great game I watched on Monday evening at the Independence Stadium. Well, as I said earlier, the 2019 Summer Nawetan Championship is back again. The Gambia's most-watched and most-followed football competition, it's back. And over the weekend, we paid a special visit to Serekunda East, who held their Super Cup, or cotton raiser if you like, between Rangers FC, knockout champions of last year, and Milan Ross League champions. Nawetan football is back. The country's most watched and most followed football championship is taking center stage across the country, with Serekunda East the latest zone to kickstart. Saturday's opener between Milan Ross and Rangers FC was witnessed by thousands of supporters within and outside the stadium. The first half was, however, not what many had hoped to see, as chances created were few from both sides and the beautiful football expected was not on display from either side. The goalless first half ended with both coaches getting the chance to make tactical adjustments to brighten up the second half. The break seemed to have done the tricks, as the second half, however, proved to be a different scenario, with the fans now getting valued for money. Rangers were the first to find the back of the net in the 60th minute, when Ismail Amane finally got the much-needed goal after some wasteful finishing from his forward line. That lead didn't last long, as Milan Ross responded 8 minutes later with a well-deserved equalizer thanks to Edward Mendy, who rescued his side. That was all the scoring after 90 minutes of highly competitive football, and the referee wasted no time in pointing to the spot for penalty kicks. After a marathon penalty shootout which saw almost all the 22 players taking part, Milan Ross were luckiest on the evening, scoring 9 spot kicks to Rangers 8. This is what Rangers coach Modulamin Mane had to say after the lose. His opponent, Sang Mendy, was delighted to win the cotton raiser and promised that his boys will come back even better in the upcoming campaign to defend the league title they won last year. As winners, Milan went home with a trophy and a prize of $20,000, whilst Rangers took home a consolation prize of $15,000. Nawetan proper in Serekunda East starts this Tuesday, with games to be played every day. In another Nawetan news, all the way in Jara Barokunda, where the 2019 fitness tournament have kicked off over the weekend. Our reporter Lamin Dabo watched the weekend opener for us and files in this report.
The maiden edition of Jara Barokunda Youth Development Association's Peace Fitness Football Final kicks off during the weekend, graced by hundreds of football lovers, fans and invited dignitaries, including Ansumana Sane, the regional football president of LRR. The spectacular tournament, which was the first of its kind ever organized in Pakaliba Ward and Jara East as a whole. The chief guest of honor for the occasion, who happens to be the chairman for Mansakonko Area Council, Landin Sane, took the kick-off. The two teams struggled tirelessly during the first half of the game, cheered by dozens of fans who were singing and dancing, up to the whistle from the central referee that took the two teams to a goalless draw, venturing into lemon time. At the commencement of the second half, both the fans of the two teams were anxiously yearning for a curtain raiser, but this took a while, seeming difficult, until in the 69th minute, when the number 5 jersey holder for Jambai Boys of Barokunda, Balaji Baro, converted a 22-yard well-taken free kick, giving them the lead over the visiting by 11 boys from Pakaliba. After a series of attacks and counter-attacks, the host team were able to double their scoring seed in the 72nd minute, when their marksman Baburama Sane, alias Ribery, scored for the Jambai Boys of Barokunda by giving them a convincing lead at that moment. The head coach of the Jambai boys, who was the former National Assembly member for Jara East constituency, Honorable Bafai Sedikan, applauded the performance of his boys, especially with the introduction of his two magic players into the field of play in the second half of the game. Few minutes later, around the 78th minute, the game was called off due to the heavy downpour of rain, which couldn't allow the game to continue, and the crowd dispersed as everyone flee for shelter in the nearby homes closer to the football field. In giving out his closing remarks on behalf of the organizers, the public relations officer of Barokunda Youth Development Association, Sarah Barrow, went on to say,
I'm also very glad because this is a history that we have made in this area here, Jara East. So therefore, I have, we thought of this since year before last, and today is the very day that this thing happens like that. And we are so glad that we were able to start with Bismillahir Rahman Rahim and end it with Alhamdulillah.
The Peace Football Fitness Tournament was initiated and organized by Barokunda Youth Development Association under the able sponsorship of Karabulai Suare, a philanthropist and a native of the said village, supported by his wife Ajakara. Due to the continuous downpour of rain, the organizing committee decided to hand over the prizes of their respective winners on the following day. The Jambai boys of Barokunda were given a cash prize of $3,500 with a giant trophy and a new set of jersey as the winners. The By 11 boys of Pakaliba were given a cash prize of $2,500 with a trophy and also a new set of jersey as the runners-up. The most disciplined team award was given to Dasilame. Reporting for Qsports, Lamin Alaj Fandin Dabo.
Let's give attention now to Morocco, where the 12th edition of the African Games is currently underway. The Gambia is being represented this time, for the first time, by 5 sporting disciplines. And my colleague, Mohamed Lamin Sedikan, who is now the press attaché to the Gambia National Olympic Committee, have been telling us how far have the Gambia been after seeing them participate in beach volleyball and judo.
Thank you very much, Babukar. So far, so good. The atmosphere here in Morocco is exceptional. And yesterday, we officially opened the 12 African Games, which was graced by the Prince of Morocco, and then with some high-power delegation from the EU and some ministers, including the Minister of the Gambia, which are all here in Rabat for the 12 African Beach Games. As you said, yes, Gambia registered 5 disciplines in swimming, volleyball, that is beach volleyball, athletics, judo, and basketball 3-on-3. But the first games to start here were beach volleyball, which the Gambia is in the quarterfinals. We came out from a group that consists of African champions Morocco, Libya, and then Tunisia. We lost to Tunisia, beat Morocco and Libya, and then we are in the quarterfinals. For judo, they had a fight, but they could not pass through the first round. They are out, and they are already in the Gambia.
I also understand that not all the sporting disciplines from the Gambia, we understand 5 sporting disciplines, will be going to the games. But I understand still there are, sporting disciplines that are back home waiting for their flights. How true is this?
That is very right, Babukar. But it's not basically they are waiting for their flight. What government is doing, and then Genocide this time, they are strategizing how best we can manage the resources the Gambia have. Because beach volleyball start on August 16th. And their competition was on the 16th to on the 24th. So it wouldn't make sense beach volleyball to be here from the 16th to the 31st of August. That is why beach volleyball will be leaving on the 22nd. Basketball, they came yesterday. Their competition is starting on the 24th. And after 24th, On the 26th, they will leave for Gambia. Swimming are here. Their competition is starting on the 21st to 24th. Then 25th, they are leaving. Athletics are in the Gambia for the simple reason that athletics is starting on August 26th. That is why they are in the Gambia. They will come to Morocco on the 24th. Their ticket is secured, their allowance is secured, everything is paid. They're just waiting for their travel date to come to Morocco.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, that was a great achievement from volleyball. Beach volleyball to be precise with, and they're using them all the best. I hope, as we report this right now, they edge and go on to the semifinals. What do we expect if they should make it to the semifinals?
I think it's not going to be a surprise if the team make it to the semi-final because this is a team that have been working together for 8 months now. And they've been playing in Qatar. They're all Gambians. And then just recently, they won the Prince Cup in Qatar. They beat Morocco, the African champions. So that exposure and that experience is there. And then one of the players, this is not his first time playing in beach volleyball. He represented Gambia at the African Games in Brazzaville. So the experience is there. That is why when they beat Morocco here in the competition and they beat Libya, people were not surprised because they know that beach volleyball of the Gambia is now into another level. If you look at our ranking, even the female team, right now their ranking is number 10. They are one of the, the top 10 and clubs in countries in Africa, and then that will even give us the ticket to play the Continental Cup Finals, which is the qualification for Tokyo Games 2020. So even if we scoop gold in this tournament, it's not a surprise, Babukan, because the team is ready for it. They got the experience, they got the exposure, and then they can do it. We have like more than 6,000 athletes across Africa from 49 countries that are in Morocco for these games. Though they have some shortcomings, especially the distance. Because for instance, we are in Rabat. The swimming team is in Casablanca, which is like 2 hours drive. And then from the hotel to where the beach is 1 hour drive. So that is just the shortcomings, the distance. But again, I think the organization is good. They're doing a good, they did a good job. The opening was magnificent. That shows the vibrancy of Africa and what Africa is ready for. So I think Morocco, they did well of organizing a very successful African Games.
That was my colleague Mohamed Lamin Sedikan, the press attaché to the Gambia National Olympic Committee, talking to me from Morocco, where he is currently witnessing the 12th edition of the African Games. Well, as I said earlier, the Gambia will be represented this time for the first time ever by 5 sporting disciplines. And talking about the sporting disciplines, one sporting discipline that left Banjul last night is swimming. They've been training at the Qsports Sports Complex and are ready to compete in the 12th edition of the African Games. Well, we watched their training ground and spoke to the athletes and the coaches as far as their preparation is concerned going to Morocco. The Gambia swimming team has finally ended its preparations ahead of the African Games in Rabat, Morocco. The team departed Banjul Tuesday morning and are expected to be among Gambia's search for medals at the championship. Over 7,000 athletes from all the 54 African nations are expected to take part. The team, which trains twice a day at Q City in Bijilo under head coach Aliou Senghor, are hopeful of a positive results. Before their departure, Qsports paid them a visit to witness the final training session. 2 athletes, Momodou Lamin Sen and Ibrahima Sori Buaro, will be representing the country in the freestyle 50 and 100 meters and the breaststrokes 50 and 100 meters respectively. Modulamin Sen, one of the team's top swimmers, says he is ready for the championship. Our training has been good. Our coaches are really giving us all the techniques we need to succeed in Rabat. After every session, I feel improvement in my breaststrokes, and I have also improved a lot in the butterfly race, he says. Rabat 2019 is crucial as it will serve as an Olympic qualifier for the Games in Tokyo in 2020. And for Buaro, who is calling on the nation to pray for them, said with the training given to them, he is hopeful of a medal. I can say the team is ready to face any opponent in Rabat. We are also going into this championship so motivated. The 12th African Games will take place from the 19th to the 31st of August 2019 in Rabat and Casablanca in Morocco. This will be the first time that the African Games will be hosted by Morocco. following the country's readmission to the African Union. I'm afraid that's all I have time for you in this edition of the Q Sports. But before I take a leave of you, let me just give you this news. 19-year-old Sierra Leonean forward Musa Noah Kamara, who was on trials with Trelleborg FC in Sweden, have had his contract been terminated in what he described as too cold to stay in Sweden. The 19-year-old had a 2-week trial with Trelleborg FC of Sweden, but later had to complain that he wants to go back home. The club released a statement saying the 3.5-year contract awarded to the boy have been terminated with no further statement, but speaking to the boy who said it's too cold to stay in Sweden, thus he wants to go back home to Sierra Leone. How does that sound? Every youngster in Africa playing football wants to play in Europe, but Musa is saying it's too cold to stay in Sweden. That's all I have time for today's edition of Q Sports. Join me next week. Thank you so very much, Mohamed Lamin Sedikan, for the time you've taken to talk to us and update us on the latest happenings as far as the African Games is concerned, and of course Gambia's participation in beach volleyball and judo. Wishing the rest of the sporting disciplines all the best in Morocco. I am Babu Karsi. Thanks for watching and keep sporting.